Rockford as a community this year has had to learn to come together and adapt to all types of changes. One of those changes was an extremely unpredictable sports season, but even with the season full of challenges, Rams Center was still there to cover the stories.
Our team was able to meet with a student who overcame a scary battle with COVID, take a look at changes that the administration were forced to go through, and much more. We also have some special shout-outs to students who have accomplished amazing accolades over the course of the season.
Along with these stories, we will be covering teams, coaches, and athletes this winter season here at Rockford High School. I'm Zoe Hazlewood.
And I'm Hyink, and this is Rams Center.
This is Rams Center.
Senior forward Sam Chris will intercept the Jenison player's pass and run it all the way down for the slam. More plays like this to come in this edition of Rams Center.
Welcome back to Rams Center. This winter season, we have had so many successful teams, but maybe one of the most accomplished programs was our wrestling team. After last season, where the Rams just barely finished 3 days before the shutdown, defending Coach of the Year Brian Richardson had to make sure his boys took nothing for granted and worked even harder than ever to get back to the great heights where his team left off.
Although the winter sports season was delayed and the Rams were forced to adapt to unique guidelines, Coach Richardson still had the boys ready for a new season. The Rams showed that they were quick to adapt to change and started back where they left off, with an impressive 8-1 start to the season. This 8-1 start included big wins against East Kentwood, taking them down 79-0, and a 41-22 win against the Granville Bulldogs.
In conference, the boys finished 8-0, securing the OK Red Conference Championship. With such a dominating season, the team as a whole maintained an extremely well-rounded group. Leading this talented group was senior Trenton Wachter. This was Trenton's 4th year on the Rams varsity squad and a year that was nothing less than remarkable.
Trenton dominated all season, ending with a record of 27-1. To cap off this amazing senior season, he also made his college commitment to Central Michigan University. The Rams also had successful postseason runs from several other athletes, including 9 wrestlers who qualified for individual state meet. With all these explosive athletes, the boys were set up for a spectacular run in the playoffs.
The guys began their playoff run by facing Forest Hills Central and Forest Hills Northern. They would win both these matchups in dominating fashion, claiming the district title. The team would follow up by taking regional crown and dominating over Kalamazoo Central and facing the Granville Bulldogs in regional finals. After edging out a victory over the Bulldogs, the Rams claimed the regional championship, getting them to the state quarterfinals.
In the state quarterfinals, the Rams would win 36-29 in a very competitive matchup versus the Holt Rams. This would lead Rockford to the semifinals versus the constantly dominant Davison team. Although a hard-fought effort, the Rams would finally fall, losing 62-9, finishing top 4 in the state for the first time in 11 years.
Congrats to the Rams on another great season. One of the wrestlers on the team that showed extreme courage through these tough times was Mac Bauman. Being both on the football and wrestling team, Mac had a lot of support from the community of Rockford when his tough battle against COVID began. Rams Center sent a reporter to meet Mac and discuss the difficult and unexpected journey.
Accompanied by Jeremy and Angelo.
My name is McKendrick Bowman. I am a senior at Rockford High School, and I am in wrestling and football.
During this year's football season, Mac tested positive for COVID and beat it, but developed a second type of sickness called Miss C.
Miss C is an after effect of COVID, and it happens, it's not a super high and contagious thing like COVID is, but it happens to specific people, a specific type of white blood cells.
Mac explained what Miss C is and why a sickness like this is so serious.
It's basically where your organs become inflamed because once COVID is out of your body, your white blood cells don't stop fighting, and so they kind of turn to the next thing. They start going for your organs.
Mac battled hard against Miss C and was hospitalized for symptoms that come with this dangerous condition.
I felt horribly sick, and honestly, I just thought maybe it was a fever. And then the doctor just went, well, yeah, you could have died.
Mac is continuing to recover, but still lives with this serious sickness. This causes him to cope with daily problems and forces him to find ways to live life around it.
My parents were there. They were really nice. My dad's a really, really funny guy. He was really serious about during most of the time, but once I was starting to fully recover and be able to speak normally, I'm just thankful for everyone that was there supporting me and helping me, especially every single doctor.
We're thankful Mac's back on his feet and continuing to recover. We're so happy to have someone like Mac be a part of the Ram family. This has been Hyink with Ram Center, signing off.
A true sign of courage and perseverance from our very own student athlete. Mac is a great example of what our student body has been through this winter, constantly demonstrating the ability to adapt to change.
Our athletes are not the only people who have had to get used to constant changes this season. Rams Center's very own Lauren Lewis had a chance to explore the administrative changes that our athletic department faced this year and how they completely restructured.
Thanks, Caden. As a winter sports athlete, I can attest to some of these challenges the season has come across, including countless cancellations, weekly quarantines, and daily COVID screenings. These constant occurrences made for a truly unpredictable season. As a Rockford senior, I was thankful for the undoubting confidence in our school's administration to constantly fight for us winter athletes. Rams Center sent a team to Rockford High School's athletic department to talk to the administrators on how they adapted to these new COVID guidelines.
We come in every day and something changes.
Planning winter sports this year brought added difficulties due to COVID restrictions.
Most athletic directors, most administrators for that matter, like to have things planned out way in advance. Typically, we have our schedules done at least 6 months minimum in advance, and we've changed our winter schedules 4 different times within 2 or 3 days.
Administrators had to adapt to different roles to accommodate the new regulations.
We're not selling tickets. We're not having to have money, cash boxes to sell tickets. So I guess that would be probably the biggest change in terms of organization.
Every single one of our student athletes are doing a screener before practice to see, if they've been in close contact with any individuals who are sick or who have tested positive for COVID-19 recently.
The first priority for organizing sports was keeping games and players safe.
If there's any, exposure that's happened within our teams, it's something that we have to make a decision as an athletic department to cancel.
We have a good likelihood of not having a lot of positives. But when you start showing any kind of symptom, even if it's a cold, you can shut things down for a while.
It's clear the administrators put a lot of effort into organizing winter sports with the added challenges. This has been Megan Hart with Rams Center, signing off.
What an amazing staff we have here at Rockford High School. We can always be so confident that they will do what's in the best interest for us as students. As the new year comes and goes, we have teachers that come and go with them. This winter season, we were so fortunate enough to sign Melissa Milanowski to coach our Rockford girls competitive cheer team.
Melissa was a Rockford graduate herself. She started as a freshman head coach and has now been a part of Rockford's competitive cheer program for 23 years. Now as a first-time varsity coach, she plans to be a part of the program for many more years to come. Melissa is an amazing addition to our Rockford staff. We are excited to see what she and the team can accomplish. Congratulations to Melissa on the new coaching position. Next up on Rams Center, we send it down to Moses Bosher to talk about what we have left in store for the rest of the show when we return.
Thank you, Zoe. We still have plenty of amazing stories to come on our show, including an inspiring return to a senior season, coaches in their battles with COVID, and Rockford's very own athletes signing to their college of choice. All that and more on this winter edition of Rams Center, so stick around after this commercial break.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, Blake, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Oh, that's good.
What are you going to get for lunch today?
I'm definitely going to get the pizza today.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I think I'm going to stick with the salad.
The salad? That's it?
Yeah.
All right. How's that salad, Blake?
It was pretty good. How's that pizza?
Amazing.
Nice.
Come on, Drew, let's get this workout in.
Yeah, workout. Woo. I think I'm going to be sick.
Shouldn't have eaten the pizza.
Welcome back to Rams Center. This winter season, we have been covering successful teams and programs here at Rockford High School. One of the most prominent teams we've had of recent date is our girls varsity basketball team.
The Lady Rams have become a consistent program here at Rockford and plan to keep building on their recent successes. In 2020, the girls were the first team in 10 years to win a district championship, led by sophomores Elle Irwin and Alina Anderson. Both of these individuals will be named All-Conference and would carry the high expectations coming into their 2021 campaign.
After several non-contact practices and the constant wait to see if the season would resume, Coach Wilson finally got the okay to allow his girls to play. With only 6 contact practices before their opening game against Wyoming, the ladies had to practice hard and make the most of the time they had.
Their efforts didn't go unnoticed as they got out to a quick 3-0 start to the year, including 2 dominating wins against conference rivals Jenison and Granville, which saw the Rams winning by more than 16 points in each contest. An impressive task without junior guard Elle Irwin, the team's 2020 MVP, who is out recovering from an injury.
Elle would soon return to action and would help lead her team to a 13-6 record. In a competitive OK Red conference, this was good enough to qualify for the playoffs and keep the Rams' chances at keeping their 2020 season alive.
The Lady Rams will start their playoff run with an impressive victory in a close contest against Cedar Springs, which ended up with the Rams winning 54-41. They were able to follow this game up with a substantial comeback victory against the Lowell Red Arrows, which saw the Rams down by 12 at the end of the first quarter. They were able to bounce back, finishing the game with a 63-48 victory, making them back-to-back district champs.
The Rams didn't finish their season the way that they had hoped, as they went on the road to face a skilled East Grand Rapids squad. It was a hard-fought battle, but ultimately would end in a 56-67 loss. The girls' efforts were recognized even further as guards Elle Irwin and Alyssa Whitepitch received all conference honors.
Congrats to the girls on another amazing season. This year, the Lady Rams were fortunate enough in having an underclassmen-led supporting cast with only one senior not returning, allowing the team to set up for amazing seasons to come.
One of the talented underclassmen, sophomore Alyssa Whitepitch, a second-year player for the team, recently broke the all-time assists in a game record, racking up 8 of her own. Alyssa accomplished this achievement in a 77-38 win against the Lowell Red Arrows. Rams Center got the chance to talk to Alyssa about what this achievement meant to her.
Alyssa Whitepitch is a sophomore guard for the Rockford girls varsity basketball team. She gave us some insight into her favorite moments from this year.
My most memorable moment this year was definitely winning back-to-back district championships because it's only been done like once before in the entire history of the program, so I think it's really cool to be a part of something that big.
Alyssa broke the all-time assist record for a single game this year and explains her reaction to the feat.
I honestly didn't know I did it until like the stats came out from like Huddle, but I was just kind of like, wow, like I didn't even know I did that. So
even after a tough loss to end the year, Alyssa still has high hopes for the Lady Rams next season.
Obviously win another district championship, and last 2 years we've kind of stopped in the regional semis, and it'd be great to make it to that regional final and kind of get over the hump that we've been stuck at.
It's a tiny representation of the successes the girls have achieved this winter. Congrats to Alyssa for their impressive achievement. As our seniors begin to finish their final years of high school, their minds slowly begin to shift to the next 4 years that await them. With such successful sports programs here at Rockford, multiple athletes every year are given the opportunity to play college sports. A Rams Center reporter was able to catch up with some of these talented athletes as they committed for this year's signing day.
Here at Rockford, it's signing day for our senior athletes. We had the chance to go down to the event and see where each athlete will be attending next fall.
I'm going to Grand Valley State University.
Madonna University.
Grand Valley State University.
Liberty University.
I signed to Concordia of Ann Arbor.
I just signed to Indiana Wesleyan University.
We also were able to ask each student what they were most excited for the next big step.
I am most excited to meet a lot of new people and also be around a big city so that I can go new places.
I'm going to have a great chance to start all 4 years most likely, so I'm really excited about that.
To meet new people, really. I'm in a room with some kids, not really in my area, so it's going to be nice to meet them.
I'm most excited to spend a lot of time, meet my teammates, and just the culture there is amazing and everyone's super supportive, so I just want to get on campus.
They got a really competitive program, they got a really great football life over there, so it's going to be just a grind, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think just being able to play football all year round and focus on one sport. I think throughout high school I've played multiple, and I think being able to just focus on one year round would be really cool.
Once again, we congratulate these outstanding athletes in all their accomplishments and only hope for the best at their collegiate level of athletics. This has been Luke Nichols with Rams Center, signing off.
Congrats to all the athletes who have committed to their future homes. You will be very much missed by all of Rockford as a community. Another team that is always fun to watch is our Rockford boys hockey team. This team shocked a lot of people with their dynamic play over the course of the season.
Going into the season, the boys were looking to build on the regional title that they earned last season. Although the season was delayed, eventually the Rams were given the green flag from the MHSAA committee and told they were allowed to compete. Head coach TJ Pober had his boys practicing 5 days a week to prepare for their newly announced season.
The Rams had kicked off the year with maybe a slower start than anticipated, gathering a 5-3-1 record, including an opening night loss to Byron Center, 2-4. Senior leaders Owen DeVries and Carson Court had made sure that this would not be the route their team went down this year, and ended up leading the boys back to 11-5-1 record.
As heavy underdogs, the Rams entered the playoffs with no regrets, picking up an opening round win 6-2 against St. Francis High School. The Rams showed that they were extremely consistent throughout the win, scoring 2 goals in every period. The team was up for an absolute battle in the regional final as they were facing against Traverse City West. This match was a tough one and would find its way into double OT, where senior Owen DeVries would score the game winner, giving the Rams back-to-back district titles and a 4-3 win over their opponents.
This outstanding run would not come to an end here, though, as they would win back-to-back overtime games against Granville and Holt, claiming a regional title and making their way to the Rams' first-ever state final experience. Sadly, the guys would lose 5-1 against Detroit Catholic Central, ending their historical run. Congratulations to the team and their historic season.
We have shared so many amazing stories already, and yet we have so many more to come. Megan Hart has what is in store for the remainder of this season's recap.
Thanks, Zoe. Coming up next after the break, we will have more on coaches and how their lives have changed due to COVID, a senior student returning from an injury for her final season as a Ram, and this winter season's top plays. All that and more here at Ram Center right after this commercial break.
What if we didn't have sports? A little bit ago, it seemed like a false reality. Without referees, the existence of sports can disappear again. Don't let the possible reoccur once more. Apply to become a ref today at mhsaa.com/officials.
Welcome back to Ram Center. With such an incredibly different winter sports season than we are normally used to, athletes and administration have been forced to find ways to work around present challenges COVID has presented them. Student athlete Caleb Mask is an amazing representation of an athlete who still found ways to work hard and accomplish an incredible accolade.
Caleb is a member of the Rockford boys bowling team, and this winter sports season he accomplished a perfect 300 score. This is an incredible accomplishment and it's first of its kind here at Rockford High School. Congratulations, Caleb.
Achievements like these have been so impressive given the circumstances we have been facing this winter. An underappreciated group of individuals who have had to deal with some of the struggles of COVID delays head-on is our Rockford Winter Sports coaching staff. Ram Center sent a team out to speak with some of these coaches and ask how they have adjusted to the new COVID winter sports schedule.
Rockford now taking a 2-point lead. She gets the shooter's touch off the free throw.
With the way we had to coach this year, I could sum it up as saying it would force me to not be me.
COVID-19 has caused many seasons to be canceled or postponed, but wasn't going to stop these coaches from going above and beyond in their coaching abilities.
For us to have a season, we had to put in a ton of systems. So when the kids came in, they got a temperature check. They had to wear a mask for the entire duration of our practices.
After having to practice and condition with the masks on, these masks became a second nature to the players.
We had to start out the season with no contact practices.
Every coach had to decide how they were going to go about these new rules and regulations. Some used non-contact drills and others made up new ways to push through.
I think our kids have really taken it in stride, and we've kind of had the mentality that we're lucky to have a season, and if this is what we need to do that, so we're going to be the best we can.
The stops, the starts, the cancellations, it's forced me to be patient, and again, clearly not my strong suit.
From having to overcome so many challenges this past year, these coaches have really grown and are able to learn from their successes.
Despite all these changes and the way we're doing things different, we've been able to maintain our success.
This has been Zoe Hazlewood with Ram Center, signing off.
Foul on number 5, Elle Irwin. Probably a smart play as she had a girl wide open underneath the basket.
It's great to see all these coaches being able to adapt and overcome the challenges that they have brought to them this season. You can definitely tell that they have always had the athletes' best interests in their heart. One team that has been coached in an outstanding way for the past few years, allowing the program to grow to new heights, has been the gymnastics team.
This year, the gymnastics team had a shortened season, not starting until February, much later than normal. Even with the shortened season, the Lady Rams got right into work, starting 7-0 in the regular season. With an outstanding performances by Kaylee Kuzmersky and Avery Labe going into the postseason, the girls' team was ranked first in the state and looked to take a state championship.
The girls made quick work in the conference meet by taking on the Lowell Red Arrows 143.98 to 139.7. Going into regionals, the Rams felt confident that they were ready to take on the challenge that was put in front of them, and that they did, taking down Jackson and claiming the regional championship. Soon enough, they would head to state tournament and would end up placing second, losing to Jackson by just a few points.
Though the girls didn't finish the season the way that they wanted to, they still had many accolades. Congrats to the Rams on a great season. One girl on the Fantastics gymnastics team who faced a lot of adversity during the high school career was Kaylee Kuzmersky. A Ram Center reporter talked with Kaylee to discuss what it was like to take on the challenges she faced.
Gymnastics can be a very high-risk sport that athletes constantly are forced to put their bodies on the line to perfect their routines. Unfortunately, senior star Kaylee Kuzmersky had to learn this the hard way.
I was on floor and I was working on an upgrade for states, and I came down wrong and I tore my ACL, partially tore my MCL, and shredded my meniscus. Right away I knew something was wrong because I felt like a pop and it just did not feel right. And then I instantly fell to the ground and I knew I couldn't walk. He said that there was a chance that I could be able to go back to gymnastics, so that gave me a little bit of hope, but it was still really scary.
After suffering a severe injury, Kaylee had to battle through recovery, as there was only one way to achieve the goal on her mind.
Knowing that I could come back and compete really gave me the hope, so I knew that I had to work hard to get back.
Kaylee did all the hard work and returned for one of her most memorable seasons of her career.
It was really exciting. It was fun that I could come back and get back to that place where I once was, because that was a big, scary thought of mine, was that I wasn't going to be able to potentially get back to where I was. I thought I wasn't going to be as good as I once was. So it was nice that I could get back most of the skills that I once had.
Such an incredible show of perseverance that truly proves that hard work can pay off. This has been Hyink with Ram Center, signing off.
What an amazing winter sports season we've had. It's been so encouraging to see the winter sports programs here at Rockford and what they've been able to accomplish. Congratulations to all the winter sports athletics on another amazing season here at Rockford.
With such an outstanding winter season, Rockford athletes performed so many special plays throughout all their matchups. And this wouldn't be Ram Center without the top plays.
Play number 3, we start out with some Rams hockey action, which saw the Rams all tied at 4-4 with 50 seconds left in the contest. With a missed shot, Jared Switzer would gather it on the rebound and put the puck in the back of the net, giving the Rams the lead in the closing seconds of the match. Play number 2, we go to Ted Carlson Memorial Stadium, where the Rams would be playing football in January. The first time I'll ever be able to say that, as Zach Ahern takes the direct snap and rolls out right, looking for somewhere to throw. Not finding any receivers down the field, he would decide to take it himself, breaking a tackle and making multiple Saline defenders miss as he crosses the 15. He gives everything he's got left in the tank to cross the pylon. He scores and rewarding his front 7 for never quitting on his blocks. And to round out our top plays, the number 1 spot goes to the Rams basketball team, where the game would be tied 50-50 in the closing seconds of a rivalry game versus the Hudsonville Eagles. Senior forward Sam Chris would have the ball at the top of the key looking for an ISO. With good ball movement by the Rams, they would find Calvin Kibbe in the corner for the game winner.
Concluding our top plays this winter season, we would like to give one last congratulations to the Rockford athletes, coaches, and administrators for an outstanding season, especially one with so many hurdles placed before them.
It was truly a season to remember. Well, that's all we have here for this winter edition of Ram Center. Make sure to tune in this spring for another eventful recap of Rockford Rams sports season. Again, I'm Hyink.
And I'm Zoe Hazlewood. We'll see you this spring, Rams.